Hey guys, welcome back. So today's video is going to be my week 24 and 25 pregnancy update. Sorry if you hear my dog's toes on the tile. It just drives me crazy. Anytime I try to film, she's like, oh, what you doing? And then she starts walking around, tap dancing. You hear her. Anyway, I'm already well into week 26 and haven't gotten around to filming this, so I wanted to get on here before I forget all that was weeks 24 and 25. So, I'm still out of breath. It is what it is. I am feeling, weeks 24 and 25, I was feeling pretty good. Like I didn't feel so big, you know, I was only up 3 to 5 pounds maybe, not throwing up a whole lot. I think I threw up once, maybe twice in that 2-week period. I was feeling pretty good, so sleeping well, eating well, no crazy pregnancy cravings, no crazy swelling, just some mild swelling. I was feeling decent, so that was great. I did go for my glucose tolerance test at the doctor's office. You hear the dog? It's like, sit down, just find a comfortable spot, stop walking around. I did go for my glucose tolerance test, and I drank the drink at home, and then went in, got my blood drawn an hour later, and it had to be less than or equal to 134, and mine was 113 for the glucose, I think it was. And then the hemoglobin had to be between 12.5 and 11.5 and 16 or something like that. And mine was 12.5. So it's like on the low end of normal, I was good. Or, you know, right in the middle of normal. So passed the glucose test, the 1 hour, don't have to do the 3 hour. I also, you know, had my checkup that day with my doctor, and my blood pressure was normal. But what was crazy was the nurse had taken my blood pressure, and I told her, I'm like, sometimes like when I first get here, it's a little high, and then, sorry for all the noise. Sometimes my blood pressure is a little bit high when I get here, and then I have them take it again in a little bit, and then it's normal. She's like, okay, and she took it, and then she didn't say anything. She just took it, and then like took the cuff off and like was walking away, and I was like, what was it? Like, you gonna tell me? And she said, oh, it was fine. I think it was like 118/78 or something like that. It was like totally fine. Should be 120/80 or, you know, below. So then the doctor came in, and I mentioned some mild swelling, and my question was like, well, how much is too much, and how do I know? My previous like pregnancy with my daughter, who's turning 2 today, oh my gosh, she's already turned 2, I guess, but I got really swollen to the point where like I had carpal tunnel, like my wrist, my fingers would fall asleep, and it was just crazy. So I asked, like, how do I know how much swelling is normal and what's not normal and whatever? And so he goes and he pulls up my chart in the computer, and he's like, well, your blood pressure's high, so, and I was like, no, it isn't. And he was like, what? And so I told him what the reading was that the nurse had taken, and he's like, she must have misentered it, because she wrote, and it was like another number, like 148/78 or something. Like it was significantly higher than the actual measurement. And my husband was in the room with me when it got taken, and he heard the nurse say the number 2. So I'm like, she must have just misentered it. And so, you know, he confirmed and he changed the number. He's like, okay, so you're you're good. Like your blood pressure's fine. So he's like, we live in Arizona, it's super hot, and you're gonna be in your 3rd trimester, like in the summertime, so I expect a little bit of swelling. That's normal. He's like, when it's not normal is when, you know, you lay down, you have water, you lay down with your feet up, or you go to bed, and when you wake up, it's still not gone, you know, or when you get up and you've rested and you're, you know, you're doing everything, eating right, and you're able to do, you know, normal amount of walking and stuff, and then your swelling still doesn't go down. That's when it's not normal. And I mentioned it because when we had gone to the park with my daughter, you know, like park picnic tables and stuff, sometimes they have like that diamond cutout, like all over the benches and all over the tabletops. I had sat on one of those, let's say at 4 p.m. Okay, I sat on it at 4 p.m. We went, did some other things, got home at like 5 p.m. and I still had the imprint from that picnic table on my leg. And I was like, is that edema? Like, what is that? And so I asked him, and he's like, you're fine. Like my blood work numbers are fine. Like, and then, you know, of course I didn't get the results right then and there, but my glucose came back fine. Blood pressure was fine. He wasn't worried about it. So I'm just like, okay, cool. And then my weight had gone up. So I had been 5 weeks, since 19 weeks and 4 days to 24 weeks and 4 days between not seeing my doctor. So 5 full weeks. He said I was like off, like all my appointments were like a few days before he wanted them. Like instead of seeing him at 23 weeks and 4 days, he's like, I'd rather see you at 24 weeks and 4 days because then we can do the glucose test. Like he likes to see you at 24, 28, 30, 32, you know. And I was always like 23 and a half. 19 and a half and not 20, you know, and he was like, let's get you on track. So we'll just do 5-week gap between appointments now, and then you'll be on with how I like the appointments. I'm like, okay. So that was my longest gap of 5 weeks, and I gained 5 pounds in 5 weeks. And I was like, that was my first pregnancy weight gain for this pregnancy. Besides like, you know, the negative weight loss that I had gotten, I broke 0, and then I was up a total of 3 pounds from the start. So at 24 and a half weeks, I was up 3 pounds. I would say by the end, I was probably about 5 pounds up by end of week 25. Not bad, but I mean, I don't love it. Like I would rather be back down, but I don't want to throw up to do so. You know what I'm saying? I want to feel good. I just want to like not gain so much weight, because the more you gain, the more you got to lose, right? But he did say like if you gain a pound a week from here on out, that still puts you at under the 20-pound mark for your total in your pregnancy, and that's fine. So he said when he gets worried is when it's like 2-3 pounds a week. Then he's like, what are you doing? Like, so I do have big babies. I mean, my daughter was 9 pounds, so I'm not sure if this one's measuring big or whatever, but he did measure my fundal height, or the fundus, and it's supposed to be like X number of weeks equals X number of centimeters. So if I'm 24 weeks, it should measure 24 centimeters. And he didn't say the number out loud, but he said it is measuring a little big. And the only reason he even said that it was measuring a little big was because I asked. He like did the tape measure, and then he grabbed my hand and had me sit up, because he's like, I don't like you laying on your back for too long. And I'm like, I know, you know, pregnant women are not supposed to be on their back for too long. And then I was like, so, you know, like, what was it? Because I'm curious. Like, I want to compare it to last time. Like with my daughter's pregnancy, I want to like know for my own records, you know. And with my daughter, I was measuring ahead 2 weeks, 3 weeks by now. So when I was 24 weeks, I measured 27. 27, I measured 30, you know. And he said it was measuring a little ahead. He didn't even say the number. But honestly, he measured so fast. I was like, how do you even... And he didn't like do the feeling thing, you know, when they're like, oh, there's the top. Like he just went, the tape measure, and then went, here, sit up. It's a little ahead. So I don't know what that means, but on my ultrasound at 19 weeks and 4 days, which was my last ultrasound, she measured like 4 days ahead. Not like anything crazy. So I think I was 19 weeks and 4 days, and she measured like 20 weeks and 1 day or something like that. Like it wasn't a crazy amount ahead, but since my daughter was 9 pounds, I can imagine this one might be a larger baby. However, my daughter was 7 days overdue. So this baby, because I'm going to have a scheduled C-section instead of like the emergency C-section of last time, this baby's going to be born 13 days sooner, 13 days fewer in my stomach. So whereas my daughter was 9 pounds, this one could be 8 pounds, not because she's actually smaller or on a smaller growth scale, just because she's being born 13 days sooner. You know what I mean? But who knows? She could be 6 pounds, she could be 10 pounds. I have no idea. I know my husband was like 9 or 10 pounds, and then his brother was like 10 or so, 10, 11 pounds. But then again, this one's going to be born early. And I was almost 8 pounds. I think it was like 7 pounds, 11 ounces, or 7 pounds, 14 ounces, something like that. So I wasn't a small baby, but I was like normal to slightly on the large side. And my husband and his brother were like really big. And so we joked that my sister-in-law is also pregnant, and we joked that we're going to have like huge babies. This is her first, my second, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I feel okay. I'm trying to ignore the last couple of days since I'm already in week 26 to like make sure I save that for the next update. But yeah, I'm feeling okay. Daughter is, you know, sleeping okay. And this one though, she likes to start getting really active. It's like I put my 2-year-old down for bed, and then she goes nuts. She's like, woo, woo, the baby, not my other daughter. She just like starts kicking, and like that's like party time. She's like, oh good, mom sat down on the couch, like we're gonna watch some TV, cool. And then she's like takes it as a cue to start like a dance party in my stomach. And then when I try to lie down, like she's just going crazy. So I'll have my husband come into the bedroom. He usually stays up after me, you know. He'll come in, I'll be like, come feel the baby. And so he'll come put his hands on my stomach, and she's just boom, 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 you know, kicking and punching and jabbing and rolling, and he's like, whoa, and we can see it from the outside. He can feel it. It's really cool. However, when you try to sleep, it's not that cool. I'm not a fan after about 9 p.m. You know, before 9 p.m. I'm like, oh, how cute are you? Oh. By 10 p.m. I'm like, shut up, stay still, go to sleep. But I don't have to use the Doppler anymore. I haven't used the fetal Doppler in weeks. I actually consider giving it away to my sister-in-law. You know, like I said, she's pregnant. So I'm 26 weeks. She's probably about 14 weeks, something like that. I was going to give it to her because, you know, she can't feel the baby move, and it's her first, and I think she would feel good to be able to like check in on the baby. But I still don't want to, because what if I have like less movement? I don't feel her kicking a lot that day or something. I would just feel better if I had that Doppler in my nightstand to just like put it on my stomach and go, oh, there she is. Okay, she's just, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to get rid of it. And then if I have an event episode where I feel like decreased movement, I don't want to have to go into the ER to get checked. You know what I mean? So I'm going to keep it for a little while. But I'm due in August. She's not due till November. So I can always like let her use it when she's over here. They live like an hour away, but we see them every weekend pretty much. And then, you know, give it to her in August. But anyway, so baby girl is growing. My apps told me she is probably about 2 pounds now. It could be like 1.5 or 2 pounds. And likely 12 to 14 inches probably for that time span of weeks 24 and 25. And she could be as big as like, it just really depends on the app. You know, like some apps are like, oh, she's this. And then the other app is like, oh no, she's gigantic. And one's like, oh, she's a broccoli head of lettuce, or she's a papaya, or she, you know, and then the other app's like, she's like a little tiny sweet pea. And there's like a big range of what is normal. So I just tell you the weight and the length, and then, you know, pick whatever produce you want. But yeah, that is her size. I did go to Target and got my free baby registry gift. And I did go to Amazon to create my baby registry there and got that free gift. I have them, this is the Target one. I have those here. I'm actually going to film right after this my Amazon and Target registries free gifts, so you guys can check those out. I also filmed them 2 years ago when I was pregnant with my daughter, so check out that playlist if you guys want to know how the gifts have changed over time, or like kind of get a feel for like what they've been giving away. You know, it's good 2 years ago, and then now they've changed a little, but honestly pretty much the same stuff. And I feel like even location to location, it just depends on what they have in stock and, you know, when you go. Yeah, what else? My feet are bigger. My wedding ring is getting kind of hard to take on and off. So I do have a fake ring. I took it off, but I do have a fake ring that I have purchased, and it's a bigger size. So I may switch soon, but I'm still hanging on at 26 weeks. Let's see. Started craving salads. We went to Panera, and I really like their like apples in their salad with like the nuts, and it did have some soft cheese, so I had to like kind of pick around that. But other than that, it was so good. Chicken, it was, hit the spots. I had that like 3 times in that like 2-week period, or 4 times, I don't even know. It was a lot. Like that's what I was craving, and not Mexican food, which is kind of strange. What else? My acne is still bad. I don't have acid reflux yet. There were a couple times that I took Tums because I was like afraid. Like it was like I ate something kind of like fried or spicy or something, and I felt like, you know, I just took the acid reflux stuff just in case I crept up, but it didn't. And like I said, I threw up once or twice, but it wasn't anything major. I rewatched my old pregnancy updates and from my daughter's pregnancy, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's about to hit the fan, because in that pregnancy, my morning sickness had like a revival. It was like, I had like weeks 23 to like 30 were like okay, and then it was like boom, and I got it hardcore again, and I was throwing up every single day, multiple times a day. So I think that might have been acid reflux, and I didn't know last time, so this time I'm ready. Like I'm gonna switch my diet to the acid reflux diet, which is like low acidity foods, no tomatoes, no citrus, blah, 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 blah. No, you know, I'm ready. I know what I've got to do. I have Zantac. It's been approved by my doctor. I have Tums. You know, I know to sleep at an incline. Like I've got all my tools ready for that, because I don't want to go back to throwing up multiple times a day. I still sometimes throw up when I change a poopy diaper. Smells get me every time. Not every time, like sometimes. I can't do it. I have to be like, if I have a weak stomach moment, count me out. But if I'm feeling good, then I can probably handle it, you know? I think that's it for now. So I'm just gonna show you my bump. This is a few days after, so I'm like 26 weeks in a few days, but I'm big. So this is a maternity shirt. It's like years old. It was my sister's when she was pregnant. So, and then these are just like size 16 bottoms. And they do have like a button and a zipper and everything, but they're size 16. And I was like, they were a little big before I was pregnant. So, but yeah, that's my 26-week bump. And I do have, like normally my belly overhangs a little bit. So kind of goes down, but even from the front, I'm trying to like not skew the stripes, so I'm not like making it look bad. But anyway, it's really hard and I can feel the baby up here. Where I feel her just depends on the moment. Like sometimes I feel kicks way down here, other times I feel them up here, sometimes it's right around my belly button. So I don't think she's settled into her final resting place yet. I think, you know, it doesn't matter if she's head down anyway, because I'm having a C-section, so I don't really care what position she's in. Honestly, doesn't matter as long as she's not like way up in my ribs or something. That is it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know down below what other videos you want to see in this series, since this is hopefully my last pregnancy, likely my last pregnancy. I don't want to miss anything. Thanks for watching. Bye.